Here we go, British Business with Matt Holland, and we've got Check-In with Charlie.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
Are you excited to be on the podcast?
Yeah,
again?
buzzing. Yeah, absolutely buzzing. This is great. I've spruced up the setup a little bit as well since the last time. So
I was about to give you a bit of a compliment there because it looks like uber professional at your end.
I should have held my tongue then because it would have been nice to have got a compliment for you for once. That's been lovely.
So you can see a bit of Regatta Professional in the background there. Well, I can on my screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the brands that you work with.
Yeah, we've got a few. Yeah, it's quite nice. This is our little showroom. Just sat in the showroom at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exciting. So what have you been up to? January been busy so far?
No, January Blues. We're filming this on Blue Monday, aren't we?
Yeah. No, I get that. I think it's I don't know. I've spoken to a couple of people who have basically kind of said that it's not been necessarily plain sailing in January so far.
Strange one.
Yeah, we're doing all right. We're kind of trending like 10-15% up year on year, but that's after quite strong trajectory coming out of the quarter of last year, and I think we're priced quite keen in the marketplace, so we're pretty competitive. But like things like that, a few things like costs have increased year on year, like acquisition cost is up and stuff like that. But overall, it's been good so far. We're filming this on the 19th of January, yeah. So
yeah, 19th, yeah.
Weeks. And yeah, we've got lots going on. We've got a shop soon to be opening, which is
exciting stuff.
So physical retail, which is, I suppose, a little bit outside of our comfort zone. Yeah, lots going on. We're also setting up a services business. So we're setting up a new company, and I just thought with the podcast and having obviously chatted with Tom a lot about things and just what's going on in the UK, I just don't think it's easy for any of us, and we've got a lot of knowledge and expertise. So I think we're going to start offering a mixture of different things that we're good at. So that's something that I'm working on in the business at the moment is setting that up and getting things going. We've got a couple of people that are interested as first clients, but I've kind of had to say to them, hold off because we're still kind of getting things rolling. But no, it's good.
Happy days. Yeah, it's been good. It's been positive for us. It's positive based on the previous year. I just think it's difficult. Like you come back after Christmas, and I say it every year, is that you really want to like hit the ground running and be like, bang, bang, bang. You know, we've got all this going on. This is really exciting. We can make really positive decisions on the back of it. But I think January's quite often leave you thinking, okay, is my plan correct? Was my feelings correct? And there's a little doubters that come in here and there. I mean, it hasn't stopped us. We've just placed an order for another embroidery machine, so we're trying to just plow on, crack on, and continue with the plan. But yeah, it does leave you a little bit wanting. I think at the moment it's just not quite as exciting as you kind of hope. But I think that's the month more than anything coming out of Christmas. So I think that's how it is.
Yeah, yeah. I can't really put my finger on what it is. All I would say is that I came into this year feeling very like motivated and like I like January because it helps me to kick on a little bit and kind of hit it with a bit of momentum. But I do get what you're saying. But I think there's definitely opportunities out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, massive.
And I don't mean to speak kind of negatively or whatever, but I think people can lean into finding excuses as to why things are a bit
excuse-itis.
I think it's definitely there's a fly.
Hello.
Fucking
didn't realise you had company.
There we are. I have actually got company today. It'd be interesting to see if he does a little cameo on camera, but I've got my cat Bandit in with me.
I have my dog Ted somewhere, so that could be quite interesting, couldn't it? He'll start milling around.
Do you remember that? It just went across the screen. Do you remember that episode? Do you remember? I don't even listen to James Sinclair. Do you still listen to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had an episode where they had a fly, like harassing them all after it was like
bloody fly,
and it was on multiple episodes. It was like, oh, Freddy the Fly's back. It was quite funny. Anyway, yeah, Bandit's in it. Bandit's become a bit of an office cat, I suppose. He's become nocturnal, so he goes out at night stalking in the fields, doing his things. We're obviously on the farm, and then he comes and sleeps in the office on people's knees. So he spent Friday asleep on George's knee, and then he was kind of loitering around the door to the office today. So I let him in, and he went and got on Imogen's knee for a few hours.
Bless him. He loves company.
But his favourite spot is Rob's office chair, which he'll put like muddy paw prints on. And Robert doesn't like that. Rob's a dog kind of guy. But anyway, so today's episode 52. Done a few episodes now.
Quite a milestone.
We're getting there.
Big 50.
That's
the big 50.
And it's good of you to join me today. Tom's a bit busy at the moment. He's got a lot going on in January, so thanks for stepping in and doing an episode. Appreciate it, mate. Maybe you'll become a permanent feature. We'll have to see.
No.
But I thought you mentioned to me about websites, and that's something that I've got a little bit of expertise in. So I thought we could have a bit of a chin wag about that. But
yeah, let's do it.
I've kind of topic for the episode is about SEO, fixing the basics and why it still matters. So kind of obviously we're going through a bit of a transitional period at the moment with online websites, and for small businesses with ChatGPT and these AI search engines, because that's what I view them as partially as well. And I suppose we can have a bit of a conversation about websites for small businesses, what's important, and then also what's not important, because I think sometimes people end up getting sold stuff that they don't necessarily need to sign up for and do. Mm-hmm. Depends on the size of your business and what have you. So we can have a bit of a chat about that. Shall I hit you with British Business Fact of the Week?
Go for it.
Are you excited?
I'm actually really excited, actually. Yeah, is it going to be like, is it about the topic? By any chance?
It should be, mate. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. Yeah. I mean, have you listened to an episode before? Or...
I've listened to a few. Yeah, quite a few.
Not all of them, though. But I mean, that would be painful if you'd listen to all of them. I wonder if anyone actually has listened to all of them.
Well, if they haven't, if they have, can you hit them up in the comments, please, and let us know if you've watched all the episodes and which one was your favourite. Thank you very much.
Well done, Charlie. Well, yeah, I suspect probability-wise, it won't be one with you on it if you were hoping for.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, maybe we'll increase that probability over time. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Anyway, a 2024 report by Barclays found that 72% of UK SMEs rely on their website as their primary marketing tool. And this is the kicker, but only 50%. But over 50% hadn't updated their site in more than 12 months. So,
which bracket do I fall into? Is that what you asked me? Which bracket do you fall into?
So Charlie, how often do you update your website? This is a stitch-up job, by the way. But how often do you update your website? You know, because it's a primary marketing tool for you, isn't it?
No, I don't know if it is. I wouldn't say it is. I wouldn't say it is. I think that's what I was about to say. Twofold for me on this
Secondary.
One is I wouldn't call it primary, just because I think from the early days when we're kind of squabbling and trying to work out and trying to grab ourselves some new customers and a bit of share of the market, I think that didn't give us a fast enough hit in order for us to gain clients in order to grow and survive. So it didn't ever become the primary in the first place. I think for us it actually became secondary. So we used our current customer base of the business we already run in order to go and find customers. And then we thought, we need to legitimize this a little bit. So we need to think about a website. So it comes secondary for us. And then I think it takes quite a while when you're trying to do that to try and build up some sort of level of authority when it comes to Google searches, etc., especially when you've got a new website. So for us, it was definitely secondary, but ours definitely doesn't get updated nowhere near often enough, but for lots of different reasons, which I'm sure we'll go into.
Yeah. I think it depends what type of business owner you are, like how driven, and I suppose it depends what different type of which different types of marketing you're most comfortable with, because business owners and people in general, we always revert to what we're comfortable. So like maybe myself, I'm more technically minded perhaps, and like building a website or managing people that build a website is more comfortable for me. But then outside of the box marketing, maybe social influencer stuff, going on camera, that's very uncomfortable for me. So we do less of that. And I think if people listening think about their business, they'll know what we're talking about there. They will end up doing the thing that makes them more comfortable, if that makes sense. And sometimes that means the website gets neglected, and sometimes it's the thing that they fixate upon, and it's the only source. And I think by the sounds of it, from that statistics perspective, it's obviously very important for a lot of businesses in terms of it's what they focus upon or what they have focused on.
Yeah, but I definitely don't think people update it often enough. We definitely fall in that demographic for sure. But I think primarily because when you first start these things, I think it was when you're in the very early days. It's like, well, how do I set that website up, and what does that website mean, and what does it need to do for us? And ultimately, effectively, it's just a landing page, isn't it? For us, it gave us some legitimacy to go and say, look, we are Workwear Innovation. This is what we can do. This is what we can offer. People can then go back and they can search on Google. They'll find a website that already exists. You know, you're not necessarily then the back bedroom operation. You're not just operating on your Facebook page or your Instagram page, etc., etc., etc. So for us, it kind of served the purpose early doors. We wanted the design to be a little bit unique to what everyone else does. But by doing so, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into a design aspect, which might make it more difficult for you to adapt and grow in the future, which is probably something we didn't know at the time. I think then you start thinking about, like, do we want to trade online? Well, actually, we've got no way of... We could trade online, but we don't have the setup to trade online. We don't have the customer service team to trade online. We don't have the facilities to be able to fulfill orders that are, you know, fluctuating in size on a day-to-day basis. We didn't have that from the early stage. So it's like you don't ever know which one's going to be the right one to go for. And then you end up being stuck with a website which you're just okay and happy with.
I mean, just to like counter you on that kind of point about the things that you don't have in place so you can't do it. Like, my thought is, well, I mean, if you go back in time when I first got going with Hollands, like when I joined Mark's business, we were packing the parcels on my grandma's kitchen table. So we didn't have this. And I'm literally handwriting tracking codes on a piece of paper, having read the little Royal Mail sign for thing and writing it down, and then going and manually inputting the tracking code into an email that I'd then manually send. That's how basic and step by step it was. I mean, I'm not sure we'd be profitable if we're doing that now. But...
No, but then you're operating in a B2C market, aren't you? Whereby you're trying to reach customers in a further afield than what your current location. So for us, we're focusing on a 25, 30 mile radius initially. You know, is the website absolutely imperative to us? Probably not.
No, but my point was more to do with the fact that maybe like your pressure on yourself to say, if you did want to do direct to consumer or whatever, which I don't think you should. I think you should nicheify, which is what you're saying. But if you did, you've got to start somewhere. And I think
absolutely, yeah, I get that.
So sometimes business owners, they go, right, well, it needs to be finished. It needs to, like, say the website, if you want to sell stuff online, well, it doesn't need to be perfect on day one. You do it in steps and kind of keep moving it forward, if that makes sense. That's all. That's kind of like my viewpoint on it.
I'll tell you where I'm at with mine at the moment.
Yeah.
So the reason we talked about it, because I am in that position where I am not sure what direction to take this in. So I think our website's really good. We've got a great local team.
What is the website for people listening?
Workwearinnovation.co.uk. Originally, we introduced that maybe 2 years ago, and since then we've tweaked little bits. We've added little videos, the videos from when we were in our old unit before we moved here, etc., etc. And it was kind of just like I say, just that landing page, that authority, that this is what we do and this is what we can offer. We're at a stage now where we have looked at updating some of the pages of our website. I'm at the stage where I'm not really too sure which direction to take it in. I don't know how it should be designed. I don't know what I'm focusing on. I'm not really too sure what it is I'm looking for out of the new website. And on the other hand, we've got some purpose-built options which are offered to us that are very specific to our industry in terms of like personalization of clothing, of promotional products, etc., etc., but come at quite an expense. And because I don't have that knowledge, or I probably could have that knowledge if I was really interested in it, but I guess I'm not really interested in it. I'm quite an impatient person. I don't really like learning things technical, etc., etc. I'd rather talk to people on camera. I'd rather pick up the phone, speak to people over email. I'd rather do the selling. I'm not really technically based. So it leaves me in a predicament when I'm not actually sure which operating system I should be using, which one is going to be better for us, which one we should spend the money on, and where we should be channeling some of our funds and some of our energies moving forward. What is going to leave us in a position to really grow and really accelerate from? I'm not too sure, which leaves me open to people approaching me and asking me and saying, oh, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. The reality is I ain't got a Scooby-Doo which one we should be doing and why. And I think another thing just to touch on is that when you are at a certain stage of your business, you look at others in the industry and comparison is the thief of joy, 100%. But you cannot help comparing your business to another business. And you look at how other people are trading, and all you see is one moment in time there of what they've decided to opt for. I haven't got any idea how long they've been trading for, when they decided to move from that to that website, when they redesigned it, how many times they redesigned it beforehand, at what stage did they make the decision to go and do what they're doing. I don't know that. So I think it's very difficult because we end up comparing people at different stages. And I guess, like, from your point of view, you operate on Shopify now, is that right?
Yeah.
You know, I look at yours, I think, it's bloody great. It works really well. We spoke over Christmas and said how easy it is to navigate. You know, it looks beautiful. Products are easy to find. It's easy to check out.
It's not always been like
that.
But
it wouldn't have exactly that. But I only see the moment in time where it's amazing now. And I'm thinking, why don't I have an amazing website like that? Well,
it's funny, actually, because when I look at our website these days, I think, God, I need to do this.
Really?
Do that. Yeah. And on my to-do list for, I've done a Q1 task list. I would turn the camera, but I'll end up moving it. But it's on the whiteboard behind me here. And I've written down like 3 key bits of the business that I'm really going to focus my energy on this year. And one of them is website development. So this episode, like talking about websites, is quite well timed. But I look at my sites because there's 5 websites that we look after internally. One of them we manage for Tough Stuff in the UK. So we do their official website, which has been a whole really interesting process, like having to, everything else we've done has always been very much like how we want to do it. Whereas that we had to like consult with. So it was a bit of a taster on this new business that we're setting up. But for me, I always look at the websites that we run and I go, God, it could be better. And it's just the type of person.
Yeah.
But I think the key thing is you start off. So you said you aren't sure on what it needs to be, how it needs to look. But I think you need to start off with what your business needs. That's like the way I would look at it. So for us, when we've gone through improvements to our site, it's been, what do we need to do? Well, we need to grow. Customer needs better experience. So how does the customer get a better experience on the website? And one of the things that was big for us is product offering. We really increase the number of SKUs on the website for a starting point. But for you, it might be, maybe you should speak to and ask your customers what they want from you. Like, have you done any customer surveys? Have you found out a bit more about them in terms of their business size, the services that they need? Are you funneling any of your processes through the website via forms? So like when a new customer contacts, are you filling out? I'm just freestyling, but for me, I'd start off with questions. And I think as a business owner, you almost, sometimes you got this kind of like, you hesitate because you're so busy operating and it's difficult to sit down and actually give it thought on what you want to achieve. So I would start off with that. I'd try and identify and work out what you actually want to achieve with the website. And do you want to hear my view on your website?
100%, please hit me.
My opinion is it should answer the easy questions that customers want to know prior to them picking up the phone or making first contact with you, because you're not selling products on there directly. And to do that, it's going to be a huge project, even if you were to do it on a small scale initially. So it's answering some of those questions really clear, and also getting them to understand who you are and what you do. That's, for me, it's very straightforward, that. And answering those questions efficiently. You've got to remember, like, we're in an age where people, when they go on a website, they need to hit the conclusion point of what they've come to the site for within seconds. And if they're not feeling that, so it's that before the fold, like, so in e-commerce, like a term, or in websites, is a before the fold, which is basically, if you think about the size of a PC screen, or more importantly, a mobile screen, if you look at what is above the fold before you start to have to scroll, well, that top real estate is the most important thing. And if you go on a website and 90% of that on a mobile or on a PC is just your brand name, then that doesn't answer anyone's questions. It doesn't help them with the identity of who you are, what you do, how you can help them, because effectively you're a problem solver. You help businesses solve problems when it comes to their branding and identity and decorating the staff uniform and things like that. And if they can't, that's how I would view it.
Yeah, no, that's good points. Yeah, I like that. That is it. That's it in a nutshell. Is what you end up being at a crossroads and like, well, Which way do we go with this?
But I suspect you're a very like brand, you're a very creative person. So I think your hesitation or your lack of clarity on this is maybe the fact that you're focusing on like the look and feel first rather than the purpose. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's probably because I don't know what the purpose should be, Matt, to be honest with you.
Well,
do you know what I mean? So like that,
yeah,
it's a good point. It's, ultimately that's kind of all I have thought about is from a website point of view, I guess, is some sort of functionality. And then what does it look like? Does it grab attention? But there's so much more that goes into it, isn't there? And I think sometimes it's also difficult because you do have some ideas, but because I'm not technically minded myself and I've got no interest in trying to design it myself, trying to portray those to other people involved, so agencies, etc., and people who are skilled in that space, it's difficult for me to kind of put that across and then it to transpire into what I was thinking, because I'm not entirely sure what I'm thinking. It's very hard to communicate some of those ideas without someone saying, "Look, I got you. I know exactly what you're after."
The whole agency thing is like, it's a big topic. Like
I've talked for hours about it, can you?
Yeah, I could talk a long time. All I would say on that is like, there's some really good agencies out there and there's some really shit ones. Like I've worked with both, and I've worked with agencies that I've worked with agencies. I think we've done all of our web development in-house for years now. So we've always built our own themes. We've always done it ourselves. Like we normally take a theme off the shelf, we customize it, change it, get our developer to tweak things if we need to. But that's like hours on hours of experience. So that's what we're good at. But a good agency or a good web development partner will ask you questions first.
Yeah.
So what they should be doing is they should be sitting down with you and going through that consultancy process. And that's the first thing, is identifying the project and how it wants to look. And in my experience, having spoken to some people who've been through that, I don't think they ask enough questions, and then they end up producing something that the business owner is kind of like semi-happy with, but not fully. So finding the right agency is really important. But then I would also say you have to speak to a few. And I think what's very common is, and it's good if you've already got, I don't know if you've got an existing partner or not, but if you are thinking of like doing a redevelopment project for your website or whatever, my view is go and speak to 5 or 6 different businesses. Like there's nothing wrong with that either. Like so to flip this on its head, I don't have much experience in physical retail, if anything. Like me and Mark used to do country shows and markets, Mark predominantly, and I went and did them a little bit. And our stand, let's just say, it didn't look the best. It was a bit rough and ready. We've always been better online. And
got a face for radio.
Yeah, maybe, and yeah, not podcasting or not video podcasting. What was I saying? You throw me off there. Thanks for that. Physical retail. So comparative, like flipping on its head. So I kind of get how to maybe solve some of the issues around the website, but I've taken some of my own advice there when it's come to physical retail, because we've gone out and we've spoken to 5 or 6 different shop fitters and designers just to get a load of ideas in.
Yeah.
And actually, if you're thinking about doing a new website, and you don't want to waste people's time, but there's nothing wrong with reaching out to people you know, putting a thing out on LinkedIn to say, hey, I'm looking for support. You'll get hundreds contact you, but pick out 5 or 6 to actually have some conversations with. I do it on SEO. I regularly do that. So I'm pretty good with my own personal knowledge of SEO. It's probably one of my strengths. But I still speak to these SEO experts, and I'll speak to 5, and probably there might be the odd one listening to it. It's like, yeah, I've done one of those Matt calls where we come on, they do a bit of a proposal on how they can support us with SEO, and I'll just use it as a free consultancy session. And I think you can get those little easy wins with websites, so you can go and have the conversations, and then you could learn to do it yourself, but then it's your time. But then if you speak to those 5 or 6 agencies, the probability is that you might find one that you go, this could work well, actually. And they were very switched on and the conversation was right. They asked the right questions. They understand what we're trying to achieve. They've helped me realize what I'm trying to achieve. And that's kind of the process to go for. Some people with websites, they end up on these like retainers and paying thousands of pounds a month. And like, you might have a good profitable business, but then you paying over the odds. Have a conversation with ChatGPT. Like the AI knowledge that's out there and available and accessible to us as business owners now, in my view, you can have a free consultancy session, not necessarily about the design and implementation of your website, but you can find out what's important. And you can also find out what is a realistic investment that would make logical sense by having that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think, like you say, your business, for example, and I don't want to speak too out of tune because I know some of your numbers, but I don't think you should be spending over £1,000 a month on your website. I think you should be spending like 500-600 quid, if that. Like for me, the maintenance of your site, and this is presuming you don't want to like completely upheaval and change it. And if you do, that's a separate thing. But maintenance, SEO, and just managing the website, it's a couple of £100 a month. It's little and often. That's the key thing from an SEO perspective. You want to be doing lots of little updates. You need to have news and blogs on your website so that when Google's crawling it, when ChatGPT, because it's crawling it using a similar approach to traditional search engines, like when these AI engines are now crawling your website effectively, they're looking for new information about your business that it can basically steal and take, and then it improves its knowledge. And that's how Google's worked for years. Whereas if people build a website and then just walk away from it and don't touch it for 12 months, well, Google's like, that's old and boring. That's really pointless. So you've got to keep little and often updates and talk about the issues for the consumer that they're likely to want to know about. And it might be, sometimes we end up writing for SEO purposes, but I always kind of loop back to writing for the consumer first, and it's really important. But my view is that stuff like that should be done by the business owner. It should be, in an ideal world, I don't write the blogs on my website anymore, and I'm really dyslexic, but we did go through a process where we were a little bit more involved in it, whereas now I do more of the strategy of it. And I think if you're in an SME space and you're a small business, like doing a little blog update or asking a member of your team to update people on what's going on in the business and stuff like that, Google loves that.
That's good to know.
So
I started that, never continued it.
Well, it's time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's time. It's like all these things, isn't it? It's just trying to keep up with them and trying to keep consistency. It's the most. I think that's the biggest learn is a consistency piece. But you talk about SEO and stuff. We don't spend any money on that. So,
well, I don't think you need to.
I don't. I've never thought I had, but I think it's going to come to us at some point. I think it certainly needs to happen at some point. I mean, primarily a lot of the stuff we do is obviously content marketing and that. We spend a lot of time on Instagram and been really successful there. So it's like you can't do it all, can you?
That'll be helping the organic SEO massively, like social traffic, just in general, from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it might be. Google loves that, and it can see it coming in. And if it's seeing things spike on a monthly basis, people clicking through, you're pulling loads of organic traffic to your site. So the whole social media thing is a massive kick on from an SEO perspective. And if Google starts to see your website kind of getting traffic, external traffic, so not internal traffic. So when I talk about internal traffic, for me, I view like your staff viewing the website from the same IP address.
Yeah.
While I'm talking about external traffic, I'm saying like non-internal business users looking at the website, visiting it. And if you can drive that via social media or email, Google goes, oh, wait. But I mean, just from a basic hygiene perspective, just to touch on that, like, do you have, shall I put you on the spot? Or?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah. I don't pull no punches. Let's go. Let's answer questions.
So one of the basic things for me, for people listening, is like having the Google Suite set up on their website. So do you have Google Search Console, Google Analytics, so GA4, Google Merchant Center? You should have it set up anyway, even if you're not going to do paid advertising. Google Ads set it up, even though you're not going to do it potentially. Do you have any of that kind of stuff hooked up to the back end of the website?
I don't think so.
They might, and maybe whoever you've worked with, but that's
we've run a few ads before.
Yeah, so you'll have a Google Ads account, or you'll have a Meta Ads account potentially. I suspect you will have done social ads rather than Google Ads. So whoever did that for you will have set up some of those bits and pieces, but you should have had ownership access of them. You should have been the primary user and controlled access in and out of that, because if you have an account set up and then it's an agency-owned account, it's then a problem if you ever want to move. So that's just a word of advice. So if you ever start working with a paid agency, always set up the paid account yourself. Don't let the agency set it up, because then if you want to leave said agency and move to another agency, you can get into a sticking point where they've got to make you the account owner, and then you've got all that problem and what have you. But for you, from an organic perspective, which I wanted to focus this episode in on, I think like making sure you've got Google Search Console set up. So Google Search Console is basically our interface with Google and telling Google in a roundabout way what's going on our website. There's loads of different factors that are really important, one of which is like uploading a site map for your website, which basically says, hey Google, this is what our website looks like, crawl it please. And then Google crawls it and it confirms the pages that are on your sitemap are actually there and what the content is and things like that. And if you're not telling Google about your website and about the sitemap and things like that, it makes it less likely for Google to go, hey, this website's really important, etc., etc. Really easy to set up. ChatGPT can teach you how to do it, or someone like me and can help people. But I think a lot of business owners don't do the basic stuff like that.
No, I think that's where like there's a big difference there between you and I, isn't there? You know, you talk. I know it comes with a lot of experience and a lot of practice and stuff, but you are very much detail orientated, and I am not so much detail orientated.
You see, you say that. I mean, I think I'm become less and less detail orientated these days.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
but you're up here at the start. Then you might have brought yourself down a bit, but you're still a lot. You know, fair enough.
Yeah, maybe Danny, my ops manager, would disagree.
No, I suspect he would. I suspect they all would.
I think I am very detail orientated, but I think I've learned to. No, maybe I still am. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you are.
I think you've got to be though.
I think
have good knowledge on everything. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't be. But yeah, so for me, the Google Suite is really important. Same on Bing, which is the Microsoft search engine, which may be less important to a business like yours because it's probably more likely that everyone's using Chrome in your business. But if it's a business like mine, where the customer's a little bit older, you need to make sure you've got the Bing version of those things set up. That's just so Google can interface with your website and crawl it effectively. And then with the whole AI side of things, it's the same thing. You need to make sure that your website is crawlable from an AI engine perspective. Now, interestingly, ChatGPT have just announced a partnership with Shopify. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
I did not.
All?
No.
So one of the things from a direct consumer perspective is very soon these kind of Perplexity, Grok, all of them, they're going to want the consumer to transact on them as well. Because if you think about it, like they've got all this traffic, they want to monetize that in some way. So whether it's paid advertising or whatever it might be. So ChatGPT have just signed a partnership with Shopify. So Shopify websites are going to be able to check out directly in ChatGPT, which fascinates me. Like that's crazy. So you'll go in ChatGPT, you'll search and say, hey, I'd really like a new pair of running trainers because I'm training for a marathon. When's your marathon?
Won't be this year. It won't be this year. It was supposed to be, but I don't think it's going to be.
Got a marathon in April. Need the best running shoes I can get, whatever. And then it pulls up some results. You tap it and you check out within the ChatGPT app. So that's the direction we're going in for online commerce, and it'll be the same for other websites. You need to make sure your website's compatible with the AI engines. So how do you do that? Well, you ask the AI engine. It's not fucking rocket science, is it? This is the thing. The answers are there. It's like it's easy now. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's like a lot of things. Though the answers are there, aren't there? But the reality is, when you're in it day in day out, it's like you just want some time just to be able to sit and learn, but it doesn't necessarily come all the time. So, excuse-itis again. I get it. It's me making excuses for myself. But I find, and also we end up doing some of the things we like doing, don't we? It's very natural for us to do.
We're creatures of comfort.
Yeah, we are. We definitely are. Yeah, I think that definitely applies to us. So.
And what am I more comfortable doing? I'm more comfortable talking about SEO and pay-per-click advertising than I am talking about, I don't know, something different that bores me. Like it's my little weird thing that I like. You like getting technical about your product and talking about things like that, or what is it? What would you say?
What do you do like that for? What do you do like? What's the face all about?
I don't know.
You taking the piss again?
No.
Okay, brilliant. That's all right.
So what would you say is your like opposite area of expertise? Like, what's your niche? What do you like doing in your business?
I like building relationships with people. I like speaking to people, speaking to customers,
and ringing them up.
Yeah. Just generally, people coming in, start talking to you about, what's new, what have you got, like what can we do with this? Well, I think you could do this with this, and I think you should be looking at these products and that product area, and etc. etc. Or what about this? And just I don't know, just doing that. I quite like being on camera. I quite like talking in public. I enjoy all those things. I enjoy talking to people. I don't enjoy.
So your comfort zone is ringing up your customers, checking in with them, asking them if they need anything, asking them how they're doing, rather than just hard selling. And then, whereas the things that would be uncomfortable for you is trying to build a bit of a mind map out, a SWOT analysis of the website, and doing those things.
I'd see it as wasted. I would honestly, it's not the right answer, but I would see that as wasted time. I would see that as wasted time and energy if I was to spend time doing that. It's really difficult, I think. I find it really difficult to get that balance, to weigh those two things up. Where do I take myself out? Where do I spend my time learning, planning, analysing, looking at the data, looking at the KPIs? How much time do I really spend doing that versus, right,
getting after it?
Who can I get after it? Who can I get after it with today? Who can we speak to? Who haven't we speak to? Who haven't we followed up with? Who hasn't ordered from us in a few weeks? Who have we not heard from? Have we got back to all the emails, etc., etc.?
But to get a business to like an SME size, like a kind of, you want to become to grow a business, you've got to systemize. You've got
you 100%.
You have to have people doing specific jobs in a business. You can't have people doing a bit of everything. Oh, I'm going to do this. Now, that is the identity of an owner, and like what we are, like business owners, entrepreneurial people. You are a bit all over the place. But there's nothing stopping you from having conversations with 5 or 6 different agencies and saying, hey, don't know what's going on the website. We're not doing enough of it. Can you help me? And there'll be someone, maybe like me on the opposite end, that will sit down and go, right, how do we translate what's in Charlie's mind? What does he want? What does he want to try and achieve? What does the business need? Because actually sometimes it's not about what you want. It's about what your business needs. And I think sometimes those things get confused as well. Like there's a situation whereby you might be, so this fly is back from earlier in the episode. Come on, Bandit. Bandit's sat there staring at me, but he's not killing the fly. Yeah, I think speaking to experts, we're doing that with the shop at the moment. We're speaking to shop fitters, we're speaking to shop designers, we're getting there. We're trying to get their knowledge and expertise so that we can focus on what we're good at. And that's kind of, I suppose, my conclusion to the episode.
I get you. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, bring in that expertise if you don't have it yourself.
Yeah, I think someone of our size would love to bring in more and more expertise. I'd love to have someone sat by the side of me doing things in-house all day. I think it'd be fantastic. I think then we would really be able to kick on. I think it'd be easy to kind of constantly develop. I think about that with videography. Certainly think about it with website design. But for us, that something is just not. It isn't a reality financially at the moment. There's other areas of priority. So it's like. Yeah, it's just, constant frustration. And I get...
then the flip side of that is if you can't outsource, well, you've got to do it yourself. So you best get watching YouTube and start talking to ChatGPT. Why?
No, you're right. You're spot on. I get it. You're absolutely spot on. No, I get it. I completely get it. Completely get it. No, I completely understand what you're saying. You're right. You are right. You are right.
Because if you can't afford to bring it in, well, then you need to become, as the business owner, you need to understand that area and you need to get your teeth into it. Because you could definitely do blogs and do more stuff on there.
100%.
But I look at it and I go, have I neglected my responsibilities with web development this last 12-month period? Have I done enough? Probably not. So
you're on the flip side.
Yeah, so I'm now going, right, I'm going to hold myself to account a bit more and set some kind of parameters for right, by the end of March, I want to achieve these things. By the end of July, I want to achieve these things, just to try and make sure. Because otherwise, if you don't set some goals, some short, medium-term goals around the topic of website for our business, you can get distracted with everything else, and then before you know it, your business starts to coast and drift, and then you go, "Why are we doing flat growth?" Well, maybe it's because we've not innovated or done anything with the website for 12 months. So, anyway. We'll maybe leave it there. Is there anything else on your mind, on your chest, Charlie, that you want to get off?
There's loads of things. But how long you got? We want to wrap this up, don't we?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up, mate. There. Well,
no, we can talk again. We can talk again next time, can't we? About something else that's bothering us or bothering me. There'll be lots.
Well, there'll be things bothering me as well, 100%, because I've got this whole uncomfortable thing now about the shop, which is going to be exciting for us and be interesting. If anyone's got any thoughts or queries about that topic or want to know about websites, how to build a website, drop me a message, and I'm sure I can either point you in the direction of a good agency, or I can give you some pointers myself 100%. Or even sell you to my services business when that launches. So we'll see. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and I hope everyone listening to this has enjoyed it, and we'll speak to you all soon. Cheerio, Charlie. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Matt. Speak soon.
Cheerio. Bye.